Now we're going to look at an auto or car insurance website, and this one is called ratekick.com. This website just looks at all kinds of different American car insurance companies and compares their prices. So you can choose, hopefully, the best price with the best coverage for insuring your car. In many states, it is required to have car insurance on a car that you own. So we're going to look at this rate kick. And the first question it asks us is, what is our car? It needs to know what our car is. So we need to give the year that our car was manufactured or when it was made. So my car was made in 2009, and it asks its make. Its make is its brand name. The company that made it is Jeep, and the model is a Patriot. And the style of that Patriot, it can be a 4-cylinder, 4-door, 2-wheel drive sport utility vehicle, or a 4-wheel drive. If I want to insure more than one car on a plan, I could add a car here. Now I need to say who the driver of the car is. So I need to tell them how old I am. It asks the gender. I am female. And marital status. Marital status is if you are married or not. So if you were married, but you separated, you are divorced. You are no longer married. Or you are currently married. Or you are singled. You were never married. Or you were widowed. Your husband or your wife died. So I will put married. And then I am going to add a second driver. Because not only me, but my husband will also be driving the car. So I put in his information. Okay, and you can keep adding drivers. Say you had a teenage child you also wanted to put on there. If you have a teenage child driving, the prices of the insurance will go up. Or say your mother lives with you and she is over 65 years old, probably the price will go up for someone who is older because young and old drivers are considered more dangerous drivers. And then you need to enter the zip code of where you will be living. So I'm going to put that we are in Chicago. This is a Chicago zip code. And then it asks your current insurance provider, who right now is giving insurance for your car. Okay. If you currently do not have any insurance on your car, it says this will affect your rates. It will change your rates. You will probably need to pay more if you currently do not have insurance. So I will say right now, the insurance company we use is State Farm. And then I can come down here and find my rates. Do a search. Before I begin looking at all the results, I need to refine or filter my search to the correct details. So here is my location, and it has the vehicle, the car that I drive, and then it says deductibles. A deductible in insurance is how much you will pay out of your own pocket before the insurance company will begin paying for any accident or any problem. So your comprehensive insurance, if something is comprehensive, it covers everything. It's saying, I will pay the first $500, or I will pay the first $1,000. You can choose this to make your monthly rate be lower. The higher you pay in your deductible, the lower your monthly rate will be. But if you don't have $500 to pay up front for a problem with your car, then you would want to switch the deductible to be lower. And then we can see that it is recalculating the auto insurance to give us a correct price. So, for example, these here, since we put our deductible lower, it raised our price 2.9% here, 1.1% here. This one went up 3.2%. So our rates go up when the deductible goes down. Same here for collision. Collision is when, if you remember, your car crashes. It hits something. Two things collide. To collide together, it is a collision. So if you have a car accident, you will need to pay the first $500 in this case. Other coverages. If you have a problem with your car and it stops working, you can have a towing coverage. We talked about towing in the road sign section. Your car will get towed from a parking space if you are not supposed to be in that parking space. If your car breaks down, a tow truck will also come and take you to a place to get it fixed. So you can choose to have coverage for that towing service. You can also get coverage from your own company for car rentals. If you remember in the first section when we talked about car rentals, you could buy insurance directly from the car rental company. So we will not do that. This is your information about our two drivers. And here it says, does this driver have any violations? To violate is to break the law, or accidents within the past 3 years. So if I had a car accident last year or 2 years ago, I would need to add a violation or accident. I need to tell the insurance company that I had that. This will also make my 6-month premium, what I need to pay each 6 months for the insurance, it will make that rate go up. And then it says what your coverage is. We've talked about coverage before when we spoke about cell phones. So in cell phones, it was how much of the area you were able to connect to their network. Here, the coverage is how much you are protected in all the problems that you might have in a car accident or something happening to your car. Liability. Liability is what you are responsible for by law. And then it gives 3 numbers, 100, 300, 100. What does that mean? I can choose these other numbers too, sets of numbers. What do these mean? Well, in this case, 100, the first number, stands for actually $100,000. And that means if you have bodily injury, something happens to your body in a car accident, or to somebody else who's with you, or even to another person in another car, which it was your fault, you hit them, your insurance will pay for all of their doctor bills. When they need to go to the doctor, this $100,000 will go per person to cover them. But the limit of that is this number, 300. And that stands for $300,000. So your total insurance per accident for bodily injury, for harm to a person is $300,000. The last number, the 100 over here, is for $100,000, the liability per accident for property damage. In this case, what is your property? What do you own? What is the thing that is owned? It's your car or the other person's car that you damaged in the collision. The $100,000 would cover their car and your own car to fix them. So this coverage not only includes covering your health, but also your car. And then it asks, how long have you been with your current insurance company? Have I been with them? Have I been insured by them for more than 3 years? No, I've been with them from 1 to 3 years. So I'll change that and it will recalculate my rates. And you can see that the rates go up 4.3%. This one actually went down 1.4%. This one went up a whole 9.8%. This one had no change in the rate at all based on knowing that information. So different insurance companies give you rates based on different information that you give them. Down here it says pay policy in full. If I will pay for this whole 6 months to Liberty Mutual at one time, right at the beginning, then I am paying it in full. If I split this up to pay a few $100s every month over the 6 months, I am paying monthly. If you pay in full, you will have a cheaper price than if you pay monthly. This next question, how would you rate your credit? And you can choose superior, which would be the best, excellent, very good, and down to good, average, below average, poor, bad, or no credit history. Now, if you're just coming to America to start, you probably have no credit history. And it's going to be difficult for them, the car insurance company, to give you a very good rate. Your credit history, as we've talked about before, the history of how you've spent money on a credit card determines how good of a rate a company will give to you. So if you did not pay your credit card on time and you have a below average or a poor or a bad credit history, it will be hard to get a good price. But if you are up here very good to superior, then you will get a better rate. So you can see I changed it from superior to excellent, and my rates, just from changing my credit history one step down, this one went up 10.8%, 4.9%. So your credit history, which they will look at, determines how much you need to pay for your insurance. Then it asks your residence type. Do you own your house that you live in? Are you renting a house that you live in? Okay, since I rent a house, let's see how my rates will change. Again, some companies put the rates up higher because I am a renter. Some companies give no change at all. For them, it does not matter that I am a renter instead of an owner. Then, after we've filled out all this information about ourselves, our filters are complete, we can choose a company for our car insurance.
Car insurance is so much fun, isn't it? No, not really. But you need it. It's a necessity. can't drive without it. Well, I guess you can drive without it. Yet you may get a citation, and worst of all, you may get into, a couple $1,000s into debt if you're lucky. Tens of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands. But hopefully you will get the insurance. But let's just say that maybe you're not such a good driver. So you get yourself into an accident. Remember, the first thing you should do when you get into a car accident is call 911 and call your insurance company. Because if you call your insurance company, then they will begin to process the insurance claim. That way, you won't have to really pay anything out of your pocket. And something else that you should do is remain calm. Now, I taught you a few lessons ago about road rage, right? You remember? If you get in an accident, you don't want to get out of your car screaming and yelling at the person who you had an accident with, saying, "I'm going to kill you!" That's not going to help the situation. So, the opposite of road rage is to remain calm, right? Something else is you should always record the name, the address, and the phone number of the other driver. You can simply ask it. You can say, "Oh, can we exchange information?" Maybe it's just a bumper to bumper, you tap them and you say, "Hey, let's just exchange information." That means just share one another's information. And lastly, if a police officer does come, you should always ask for the police report. That way you can see what exactly are they saying happened in this accident.